And the issue with complex trauma is those that suffer from complex trauma are stuck in a sympathetic state. They don't have, because they're constantly getting hit with traumatic experiences one after another, or they're stuck in situations that they can't escape from. And so that leaves them locked into a sympathetic state. And that creates a lot of other issues, creating excess oxidative stress, which increases health conditions, health diseases, is also relevant to a lot of misperceptions, and which lead to more trauma. And I can give prime examples because I am, oh my gosh, a complex trauma survivor, poster child, unfortunately, and I have been locked into a sympathetic state. That's why I'm doing my series on the beach, because this is where I can finally get into a parasympathetic state. And for those that don't understand between parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system is going to be your fight or flight. So what that feels like, if I could explain it, is the best way for me to explain it is I'm old school race car driving girl, first car, old school, smoking the Bandit Trans Am. So very powerful car, 6.6 liter. But when that car when it idled too high, you could feel that strain on the car. And that's exactly what it feels like to be stuck, locked in that parasympathetic state. It literally feels like you're idling too high. And it actually takes a lot of energy to bring yourself down. And the problems with that is, for instance, oh my gosh, just not even a month ago, I was pulled over for speeding. And unfortunately, speeding is indicative of being in a sympathetic state. And unfortunately, a lack of focus is also indicative of being in a sympathetic state. So, unfortunately, if you lose track of, you're not paying attention, often that can be problematic of being pulled over or speeding unintentionally. So unfortunately that happened, and but sure enough, we are talking, this is not even 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm in workout clothes, prepared to go work out or go walk with some friends, and immediately when I got pulled over, right away the officer's like, have you been drinking? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I knew exactly what they were getting at, so I said, no, I'm just stressed, because I have been accused over and over and over and over again, or most people assume that I'm on something. I mean, they've come right out and say it. I've heard, oh, you're over the top, you're, too much, just da-da-da-da. It actually it wears on you because of the misperceptions. And now here I am, 100% sober, have been for a while, but immediately this officer is like, have you been drinking? And I'm like, no, I'm happy to take a breathalyzer or whatever, but no, 100% sober. And then she went on as far to say, well, can I search your car? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is an issue. Now, I did not get overly excited because I knew exactly what she's getting at, but what the problem is a lot of law enforcement are not educated on those that deal with complex trauma issues. So they often will come across as being aggressive, which that's another issue that I have been accused of, is people will say, why are you yelling, blah, 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 blah. So because being stuck in that sympathetic state will actually, you will appear to be far more aggressive even when you're not and don't intend to. Now, mind you, being pulled over is a stressful situation. So somebody who's already stuck in that sympathetic state, it is going to bring them up another notch. So it's definitely problematic when they're not prepared. So I would like to bring awareness to where there could be better training, where they could say, hey, I bet you're stressed or something. So because now I was able to handle it a lot better, knowing exactly what she was getting at, because I have been dealing with this for many years, and I have been doing ongoing research for, many, many years. And so for me, I could understand where she was coming from. However, for a lot of people that have been dealing with complex trauma issues, they're probably getting frustrated of constantly being accused or this, and so they're going to react even more aggressively, which often can lead to fatal situations if things are taken wrong, and what that does for somebody that does deal with complex trauma issues. So it really is very problematic, and there is a great need for the education out there. I also want to bring up another issue, is that unfortunately our system is flawed, and it does facilitate abusers, and I have dealt with that for many years, and in doing so, I have unfortunately also experienced something I did research on 20 years ago, and I did this huge research paper, numerous resources, wherein it stated, and it was textbook relevant to abusers, physical and emotional, mainly emotional abuse, because it is definitely underrated. Emotional abuse can be far more harmful, and this is verbatim in multiple textbooks, psychologists, psychiatrists, the whole 9 yards. It actually can be more detrimental, unless causing death, than physical abuse, because bones and physical traumas heal faster than emotional trauma. So in addition to that research, I also it was stated that in abusive situation, the sad part is in the court system, the abusers often get custody of the children because the abused appear to be unstable. And that is indicative of issues wherein our system is not aware and educated on symptoms relevant to complex trauma survivors or trauma survivors. And I unfortunately fell into that exactly. I experienced that. Now this is 20 years later. This is a situation wherein I was berated. Here I was the victim, however, completely berated and just dealt with a very, very traumatic situation in relevance to being misread and that was based off, and verbatim, she stated numerous reasons why she didn't find me credible or had issues with me, were all relevant to complex trauma issues. Therefore, it really is problematic that 20 years later, from doing the research and findings that I found, it's still happening. So I really do want to promote more education and awareness for the systems, especially when we're talking about family law issues. And now mine wasn't even a custody issue. However, it still is, very problematic when it comes to any type of litigation, wherein they are making rulings and they're not aware, because as I had already mentioned, one on the list would be medical trauma and medical abuse. So there's numerous forms of traumas and abuse. So the education awareness really is extremely important. So I really am on a quest to do that. The three areas that I do intend to target is suicide, homelessness, as well as addiction. And I did make the statement that and it's actually verified through research that complex trauma is the number one cause of suicide, addiction, and homelessness. And when I mention homelessness, once again, people would say, well, no, homelessness is relevant to addiction. Well, what do you think the number one cause of addiction is? So they all three do come together, and they do play off each other. So it really is, it's an epidemic, and it's a worldwide epidemic, and it's something that really needs to be addressed. And so I am on a mission to make a change, because I know firsthand all the issues involved, and plan to address them, and hope that you will join me in my quest to make a difference, and as well as to help support my October 2nd event. Please go to shinemgbright.com. That's shinemgbright.com, and you could get tickets, as well as I am desperately need assistance with sponsorship. So if you are interested in sponsorship, which also includes actually more in sponsorship value of marketing. So with that, please, if you're interested in sponsorship, call 727-239-5221. That's 727-239-5221. And as well as you can get your tickets for the October 2nd fundraiser at the Floridian Social with the Black Conkeys Band. And again, that is at shinemgbright.com. And I just want to wish everybody all the best and God bless.